Hello, Mrs. Hingle. I'm so glad you can join us. Now, as you can see, we're having a free activity period. And in our free activity period, each little individual chooses his or her own occupation. Some are painting, some are using plasticine, and some work at a sand table. We feel that each little one wants to get the best possible career option. Who's making that buzzing noise? Well, stop it, please, Neville. I love seeing them express their own little personality. George, don't do that. Now, children, I want you all to say good morning to Mrs. Hingle. Good morning, Mrs. Hingle. No, Sydney, not a goodbye. Mrs. Hingle has only just come. You don't want her to go away yet, do you? No, she hasn't got a funny hat on. That's her hair. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Hingle. Hazel, dear, I don't want to have to say it again to you. Will you please come away from the door? Well, why can't you? Well, you shouldn't have put your finger in the keyhole in the first place. Children, no need for everyone to gather round because Hazel has got her finger stuck. Back to your work, please. Hazel, have you tried wiggling it? Right, okay. David, stand up for me. Hope you don't mind. We're going to have to use your handkerchief just to get the finger out of the keyhole. Right, again, and now wipe. You know, Mrs. Hingle, I really think this child's finger is stuck in the keyhole. I think the fire brigade are the best in this situation. There's a telephone at the end of the passage, if I seem to remember. Oh, would you? Oh, that is so good of you, thank you. Oh, you've got it out now, Hazel. Oh, well done, that's lovely. Sydney, sit down. Sydney, you are not to go near that keyhole. Sydney! Oh, can't you get it out? Oh, Sydney. Children, follow Mrs. Hingle outside into the playground. We're all going for an early break. Come on, come on.
Listen up, everyone. We have been just informed that there's an unknown virus that's attacking all clubs. Symptoms have been said to be heavy breathing, wild dancing, coughing. So when you hear the sound, run for cover.
Let me tell you something about Janice here. I mean, we were best friends in middle school, right? I know, in 8th grade. So in 8th grade, I started going out with my first boyfriend, Kyle, who was totally gorgeous. And Janice started having weird feelings about him, like having a crush on him or something. So when Kyle moved back to Indiana, Janice started having these weird lesbian vibes going on about him. And then she said, why didn't you call me? And why didn't you text me? I was like, Janice, why are you so obsessed with me? I mean, why are you so obsessed with me?
Berlin. A winter coat, travel bag, a red nose, and a broken heart. I'm standing at the platform at the train station. It's cold, the train is late, and my socks are wet. I'm not quite sure how I got here, or where I'm meant to go next. I met him 4 nights ago, and he was the most beautiful boy I'd ever seen. His name was Emmanuel, of course, and he came from Madrid. I'd been travelling by myself for 3 months. The great European adventure. London, Dublin, Paris, Prague, and then Berlin. I've been saving for a year. Cafe work, bar work, babysitting. Mum and Dad said, don't go by yourself. It's too dangerous. Go on a tour, or at least with some girlfriends. I'll meet people, I told them. It'll be fine. But meeting people is harder than you think. I mean, I did meet people at hotels and stuff, but mainly other Australians, and it was fun for a night or two. But the boys just wanted to have sex, and I guess that's all right. But if I wanted sex with an Australian boy, I could have just stayed in Hullet Cove. I Skype my mum and dad once a week and tell them what an amazing place Europe is. They've never been. I tell them I'm having the best time because I can't bear to see them disappointed for me. And when I Skype my brother Mark, I pretend the camera on my iPad is broken because he knows me and he'll see it in my face. He'll see that it's all a mess and he'll tell me to come home, but I can't go home. Not yet. I mean, no, I couldn't go home then because it would be such a defeat. I don't know what it's meant to be. I don't know what I'm meant to do. I keep wondering, when will it start? Life. When will life start? And then there he is at a club in Meta dancing with his shirt off, and I think, wow, that guy can really dance. That guy is like fire. And then he looks over at me, and I'm gone. I pretend not to be. I try to be cool to make it seem like I'm not interested, but I am so interested. Then we dance until the sun comes up, and as we come out of the club into the light, I think, this is life. I'm living. And when he kisses me, I want to cry because I'd never been kissed like that. Not in Hullet Cove. I'd never been kissed where he kissed me or touched quite like that. He seemed to know things, and for once it didn't matter that I didn't. 3 days. 3 days we stayed in bed, and well, after 3 days I knew some things too. We don't even get up to eat. He gets up and comes back with a bowl of cereal and 2 spoons. That's all we eat. Cereal. Out the same bowl for 3 days. As I lie on his chest, falling asleep, listening to the beat of his heart, thinking I could listen to this for the rest of my life. I think, is this it? Is this what falling in love is? And then, when I wake up in the morning, he's gone, along with 400 euros from my wallet, my iPad, my camera, my favourite scarf, and a large piece of my heart. I find a girl in the kitchen smoking a cigarette at the table. I ask if she's seen him, and she shrugs and says something about going to see his girlfriend in London. She tells me to get my things and get out of her house. I walk through the streets of Berlin. I feel small. I feel like I'm 12 years old. I feel ridiculous. I want to cry, but I won't. Well, I do a bit, but not as much as I want to. I want my dad. I want my mum. I want my brothers and my sister. I want to hear them laugh and argue and fight and tease me, but I can't think of them much, because if I do, my chest will explode. I feel like I'm literally going to fall apart. But my arms are going to drop off, and then my legs, and then my head, and to stop myself from falling to pieces, I make a list of all the things I know. I mean, I actually know for certain to be true. And the really frightening is, I don't know much at all. It's a very short list. But I do know that at 25 Windry Avenue, Hullet Cove, things are exactly the same as when I left, and they always will be. And I know that I have to go home.
Hush-a-bye, don't you cry. Go to sleep, you little baby. When you wake, you will have cake and all the pretty little horses. Blacks and bays, dappled and grays, coach and 6 little horses. Hush-a-bye, don't you cry. Go to sleep, you little baby.
When I was 12, my older sister Deirdre was killed in a car accident. I mean, it wasn't exactly an accident. Her and her friends were car surfing, which is where one kid gets on top of the car and either stands up or just holds on as they drive around like crazy. So they're doing this in the park, and I guess some of her friends had gone already, and I never really know if she was drunk or not when she was doing this. I mean, I guess she probably was. But anyway, they went round a corner and she rolled off and hit her head on the pavement really hard. It cracked open her skull, left parts of her brain in the road. The doctors thought they'd be able to save her life for a while, just that she'd have some permanent brain damage from the, leaving parts of her brain in the road. Yeah, I guess you can expect to not be all right when they're picking little pebbles out of your skull. Anyway, the doctor in charge of putting her back together screwed up, and she died on the operating table. My mum sued. The case was dismissed. I ended up with nothing. So now I'm an only child. So there it is.
They ain't doing it like you and
Plain Elaine! It's a shame. I left school at 16 with 1 GCSE. No, in metalwork. I'm on the dole. It's such a shame. I like a good night out. I don't expect to get picked up though. I'm handy in a fight. Come here, you bastard!
I've always had a thing for nerds. All kinds. Geek, weirdo, freak, techie, trekkie or dork. You name it, I want to catch them all. Sorry for the Pokemon reference. I am a bit of a nerd myself. Girl nerds are rare, but we do exist. I hung out with nerdlings as a kid. We played Dungeons and Dragons, and I loved being Dungeon Master. holding their fates in my hands. It doesn't matter how pretty you are, just the fact that you're female and like something nerdy makes you very attractive to them. Other kinds of guys couldn't care less about me, but to nerds, I was hot. The more I hung out with boy nerds, the more I realised the power girls have over them. There's nothing they want more than first contact with the female of their species. But with great power comes great responsibility, and I try not to take advantage much. And the best thing about nerds is that they give you their full attention. Pretty boys are too worried about their looks and compete for fairest of them all. There's always a fight for the mirror. With the tough guys and jocks, they always want praise or worship. It's all about them, and they turn romance into a competition. Who's the lucky girl who gets me today then? Nerds are the kindest type of guy. They have the best hearts. If you get past the overdrawn comic book heroines and the overly aggressive sci-fi babes, they really care about you and who you are. You get a nerdy guy's full attention. The rest of the world slips away in his entire universe, because no Death Star, TARDIS, or warp drive is more exciting than a girl who gives him the time of day. That's why I like these guys. I feel special, important, and not so alone anymore.